Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as BlackRock smashing $10.5 trillion record in Q1 managed assets. Check this out. BlackRock now holds 270,000 Bitcoin worth over $19 billion, and they accomplished that in just 90 days. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin options expiry worth $1.5 billion, set 69,000 max paying price, as well as U.S. government amongst states with the largest Bitcoin holdings, according to Arkham. I'll be breaking this down for you, as well as breaking news. Hong Kong set to Greenlight their spot Bitcoin ETF and Ether ETFs by this Monday. That's right, 3 days out. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as $100,000 Bitcoin price incoming if the correlation between crypto and stocks weaken, according to crypto analytics platform Sentiment. I'm also going to be sharing with you this indicator which suggests Bitcoin reaching $5 million per coin. I'll be breaking down the timeline. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Now, welcome, crypto fam. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. This one's for you. Pump it up. Let's go. Sealess, welcome. Good morning, family. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Johnny Lee, Colorado in the building. Bitcoin, Chalice, and tell him Sealess. Don George here. One House Productions. I like the stream. Appreciate you, man. Good morning, Wen Moon. Shout out, you are awesome. Shout out AG47. Shout out Johnny. Shout out Panama. Hey, hey, hey. Jose, welcome. Crypto Midwest, welcome. Good to see you guys. Explosive. Keeping it explosive. Bram, let's go. Billouette from DC. Rocking. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Respect. Mark Anderson, let's rock the house fam from Ulmerton Road. Pump it up, Pinellas County. This one's for you.
Pump it up. Pump it up.
Let's pump this mofo up. Otto Man, JV in West Virginia, and the airwaves. Crypto morning. Shout out Ruby. Good to see you. Yahim. Shout out Mark Anderson. Welcome everyone just joining us. All-time high this weekend. Now we're talking. I'd love to see that as I sip on some alkalized water. Let's go.
Look, pump it up if your game and went long. When the dip hit, you just stayed like King Kong.
100K by the end of May. BS, what up? What up? Bram, what up? Yo, did you buy Foxy? The only Foxy I'm aware of was Foxy Brown back in the day. Just saying. I don't know nothing about no Foxy coin, yo. Who's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? I mean, that's a fantastic question.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Let's go. South Africa in the house. Shout out Claude A. Schultz. Yeah, man. You already know. I appreciate y'all. Pump the likes, pump the stream. West Virginia in the building. Good to see you guys. Bro, what is this title? You can't handle it? You can't handle it. Sorry. It is what it is, yo. Lil Kim was better, says Bram. I don't know. But of course, you know, Biggie put Lil Kim on, so Lil Kim was pretty smooth back in the day. Can't speak about that nowadays. Different ball game. Check it out. Important coin, says Mike Sunnett. I think Lil Kim had one too many plastic surgeries, if you know what I mean. But who am I to judge? Yeah, man. Anyways, let me know where you guys are tuned in from this fabulous day. It is Friday, so TGIF. Are we going to see a little weekend pumpage? We only have 1 week until the halving, family. We're correcting a little today, but we're still maintaining above 69.5, 69, holding pretty strong as a support overall. 69, the new 20. What are your thoughts on that? Please do let me know. And yeah, I'll give you guys a few more moments to say what up. Let me know where you're tuned in from, fam. I appreciate it.
More than 5 sats and you stacked and get it on. Had the people on my back to get a song.
I need ETH and Litecoin surges so I can convert them to Bitcoin at a good rate. Right on. And what are your thoughts, guys, on Big ETF launch here this Monday, as rumor has it, out of Hong Kong for both Bitcoin spot and Ether spot. The Ether spot taking me by surprise. I didn't see any info on that the other day. So if they do get the first mover's advantage on an Ethereum ETF, that's pretty big deal. Northern California says explosive. North Cali in the building. Let's pump it up. Yeah, 60 is the new 20. Cheer. That's what's up. No jab, no Botox, no Fed, no shift. Tell them okay, good.
Broke, have a toke, we smoked them like a bomb.
Boom. St. Louis, Missouri. You're live in my greenhouse. The plants love you, JB. This is dedicated to all the hemp plants out there, all the cannabis plants. May you rise prosperous along with the Bitcoin price action. Love and light. It's all my plants as you continue to stack those biddies. Just saying. UK, Liverpool. Good morning, fam. Shout out to the quiet man. JV, the alts are bleeding. Do you think they will get back up eventually? But right now it's like, Urkel, I've fallen and I can't get up. But once Bitcoin does this thing, alts typically follow. 5 million gives me an 11.1 million. Okay. Well, right on, Redding Red. But yeah, Foxy was created by Consensus, which created MetaMask. Possible airdrop if you use the swap function on MetaMask. Yeah, I don't trust Consensus, MetaMask, or any of those guys. I'm just saying, speaking on my own behalf, I don't trust none of them. North Carolina here also, or North Cali, my bad. Don George, cheers. Next week, starting Monday, we pump to 100,000 before the halving. Take that. Serious financial channel we are. I mean, don't get no more serious than this. Texas in the house. How's the weather in Puerto Rico? Beautiful day. A little cloudy, but no rain. It's a beautiful sunny day, probably 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Mabinay, Philippines. Let's go. Texas. Nice prayer, JV. You're very welcome, AG47. You got to hold it down.
Oh yeah, we heard
Kramer report that.
Thank you. Said
We bought more back, so we got to sort back. I hear you there. Thank you, Mike Sunnett. But anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, here's what we're going to do. Pump the subscribe button, especially if you're new, to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day. Just like this. Also equally important to smash that like. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Today is pod episode number 1607. I'm your host, JV. Happy TGIF. That's right. It's April 12th, 2024. Lots going on in the market. So let's kick it off with our market watch. Checking out Coin 360. Bitcoin hovering above 69,700, down 0.5% on the day. We also have Ether and all the major alts correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at a 2.58 trillion market cap with 76 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance has been on the rise at 53.2%, as the Ether dominance has been on the decline, currently at 16.1%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, only a handful even in the green. BTT up 6%, CKB up 2%, and BNB up 2%. Below that, very modest, virtually no gainers, and 95% of the top 100 coins correcting and in the red. My question for y'all, which altcoins are you guys most bullish on? Holla at your boy. Or are you a Bitcoin maxi only bullish on the biddy? Let me know. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective. Holy moly. Safe to say, like, 95% of the market correcting and in the red. And zooming out on a month, a modest maybe 10 to 15% in the green, but the majority of the market still in the red with pretty substantial losses. But let's not forget the previous months, the alts have been running like a mofo. You guys always asking, when alt season? I think we just witnessed the alt season in the past 6 months, but now things are starting to correct, and I think Bitcoin takes charge here, leading into the halving in roughly 1 week. But let me know your thoughts. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated at 79. Extreme Greed, yesterday 76, last week a 79, and last month an 81. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown, roughly 9 days to go until Bitcoin halving 2024. The current estimated date of the halving is April 22nd, when they estimate will hit the block height of 840,000. We're currently on block 838,875. As pointed out here on the time chain calendar. And I don't know why there's always like a bit of a delay here, but now it updated to 838,883. So we're getting so close to the halving, fam. The Bitcoin market cap sits at 1.37 trillion. And currently you could trade $1 for 1,440 Satoshis. So get to stacking them sats. while you still can. And there you have it. Let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to take us by the time of the halving next week. Holla. Now, C-List is bullish on Link, Matic, Render, and Stacks. That's what's up. Some definitely good coins in the mix there. I'm definitely bullish on Stacks and Link and Matic. Can't go wrong. Doge, but 99% Bitcoin, says Claude A. That's what's up. 99% Bitties. I am converting alts to Bitcoin, says Automan. I am 98% Bitcoin, says Joe. There is nothing else. Only Bitcoin. Tell them. Smash the like. Northwest Arkansas in the house. The like button is looking incredibly bullish today. Says you are awesome. That's right. 95% Bitcoin. 5% foolish decisions. Hey, at least you're honest about it. Though if my wife goes to $20, I won't complain. You mean whiff? Or are you talking about your wife? Your wife goes to $20. I won't complain. Oh my God. Dump Bitcoin, says wrecked. What? You mean whiff? I kind of figured you didn't mean your wife there. Your wife is more valuable than $20. I understand that. Back at home with your wife. Yeah, that classic Connor clip right here. Orange panty night, fam.
It's red panty night when you sanctify me, eh? Back at home with your wife.
Back at your home with your wife. You know what I mean? Bitcoin on sale right now, so buy the dip. That's right. You got it right, Jessica. The difficulty adjustment seems to really slow things down. 420 is looking like a possibility again. Very probable. We may have a halving on 420. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know.
Well. You know what time it is. Whew. We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs.
We back, baby.
There's no greater feeling than hitting that
sweet. All-time high. I dabble my other 2% in commodities, says Joe JV. How do you like your steak, brother? I haven't eaten a steak since I was 16. I haven't eaten any meat since I was 16 years old, so don't care.
All time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich.
You already know. Salam, family. Shout out Mohammed. How you doing, broski? Are you still anticipating a correction to the 30,000s? Let me know. Universal, there's no second best. There's a crypto asset called Bitcoin, right? 32,000 Bitcoin still in play. I think that's hopeful wishing, but we'll see. Good morning, JV. Shout out Neri. Good to see you, Neri. Appreciate you tuned in this morning. Let me know how you're doing. You guys excited for this weekend? We're going to see a weekend pump. Let me know. Juan Francisco says 65% Bitcoin, 35% alts. I ain't got no wife, but as a whole coiner, it should be possible. Autocorrect was too zealous. Larry Pedro from Dothan, Alabama in the house. Shout out, Larry. Appreciate you as well. Let's dive into a little Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts where the price action is likely to go next. But first, I got to share this. $1 invested in Bitcoin or gold in 2009. That $1 Bitcoin is now worth $91 million. That $1 invested in gold 15 years ago, since the inception of Bitcoin via the Genesis block, is now worth $2. So what does that tell us? It tells us in 15 years, gold did a 2x, right? It went from $1. I mean, you turn $1 into $2. So it doubled in roughly, I should say 14 and a half years to be more precise. So $1 invested in gold 14 and a half years ago is now worth $2. And that's with gold just recently hitting an all-time high of 2,400. Meanwhile, if you would have invested $1 into Bitcoin from the inception 14 and a half years ago, that $1 would now be worth $91 million. Shout out to Willy Woo, the on-chain analyst, for this chart, but it speaks volumes because you know Peter Schiff is like celebrating, doing backflips on social media, like wow, gold all-time high, yada. But yeah, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. And Jelly, the analyst, shares this bullish megaphone as a target of 180,000. Couldn't you see that happening? This megaphone bullish target right here. Can you see Bitcoin hitting 180,000 target as you see in a green line? Let me know. I just wanted to start the day off with that because I find it interesting. But anyways, Pi Cycle Top is a classic Bitcoin bull market observation tool consisting of two moving averages. It has consistently delivered macro top signals for the Bitcoin price action. Now, Jelly notes the price is coiling beneath the indicator's long time frame trend line, the 2x multiple of the 350-day moving average, currently at 76,000. Per data from Glassnode, quoting the analyst here, once Bitcoin breaks the pi cycle moving average, all bets are off. It is currently consolidating right below it, just like it did in 2020, as outlined here. Now, the pi cycle top effectively measures the moving average, with Bitcoin shorter term 111-day counterpart. Macro tops come when the latter crosses the former. Now, Bitcoin has spent multiple weeks consolidating around its previous all-time highs of 69,000, set back in November of 2021, precisely where we're at today, like deja vu, right? Now, while such price action has unnerved some market participants, others, including Jelly, see it as healthy behavior around such a critical psychological line in the sand. In both 2017 and 2020, Bitcoin made similar moves, consolidating at all-time highs for 50 days and 221 days. I'm sorry, 2021 days. It says here, I think it means the year 2021. But anyways, currently we're sitting at 37 days of consolidation around the previous all-time high, according to Dan Crypto Trades. Meanwhile, analyst Jelly maintained a near-term price target for Bitcoin of more than 80,000, quoting him here. This ascending triangle has a target of 82,000. I doubt the bears can defend 71,500 for much longer. Bring on the price discovery. And when he refers to this term, price discovery means new all-time high, a price action we have never seen previously before.
Can't short your dork, we can't afford that. Wait for the pump to come, we should have bought that.
But yeah, I want to know your thoughts regarding this chart over the past 14 and a half years, Bitcoin versus gold. Holla at your boy, and let's discuss that. Need a dip to buy, says Nere. Well, you see a dip from the all-time high of 74,000. You got a 5% discount on the biddy. Gold is a true store of value, except nothing more. Buy gold, fools. Buy gold, fools. Yeah, Max Kaiser would say that gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. Makes sense. Match the light, says Larry. Ain't got no wife, but yeah, man. JV, can you tell us more about the legal charge from the SEC to you? We covered that drastically on yesterday's episode, actually for the past 2 days since the information came out. From my understanding, Uniswap is a decentralized open source code for developers and, I guess you can say token creators to list their coins. So I don't understand, honestly, what there is to go after with Uniswap, but obviously there's I think a clear agenda to basically interrupt decentralized finance, and I think that's what this attempt is. I don't know if they have any legal, what does that say, foundation to stand upon, because the SEC continues losing all these overreaching battles time and time again, you know what I mean? Like with Coinbase recently, Ripple, etc. So I don't know what they think they'll get out of it, but we'll soon see. I think it's ultimately to suppress decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is a threat to the power structure, the powers that be, in my opinion. That's my 2 Satoshis on it. Let me know your thoughts. Price discovery was a big challenge in the global financial crisis. If you buy gold, you're a dip. Hello, Kayan and Antonio from Norway. Hello from Kayan. Thoughts on the Bitcoin price if Iran attacks Israel? Man, I'm not going to get into any of the war discussion. I mean, I can't get away from it on X. I don't subscribe to any of this stuff, but you just can't escape it because a lot of shady-ish continues going on. But overall, I think war obviously sucks, and I don't wish it upon anyone. And so, however, I think wars are likely to continue as long as money printer continue to go. And I think that's bullish for Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin is a hedge against economic uncertainty, and I think war creates more economic uncertainty, in my humble opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, JV and fam, shout out Molly. Need to get me one of those Doc Brown time machines. Hop in the DeLorean and just head back in time when Bitcoin was like a penny, so you can experience those 90 million % gains, right? If any of my old icky alt bags moon, you know what I'll be using the proceeds to buy. Right on. Be water, my friend. You got that right. They will go after Uniswap because they have a founder premise just like ETH. Well, that's what I was questioning. Who is the guy, the attack vector to go after for Uniswap? Because I don't know that guy's name. Let me know. So yeah, but if there's an attack vector, bet your bottom line they will go after them and try to sue them and, you know, hit them for billions of dollars, just like they did with CZ. Would CZ have to pay like a 4-point-something billion dollar fine to the DOJ plus hundreds of millions to the SEC? And then what do they use that money for? To go after more exchanges and decentralized protocols? Is mind-boggling. But yeah, I mean, it's all securities in their eyes. Gensler makes it very clear. And he does say it smells like securities up in this piece. I'm sure you've heard the track.
Too many frauds and scams.
These clowns trying to take us down. What a guy. Wow, what a guy. Wow, what a guy.
You already know. That's Gensler for you. Monday is going to be a pump day. What about this weekend? We're going to get a weekend pump. Maybe Saturday, Sunday to start the new week. Heading into the halving, we could potentially see a halving next week. We don't know the exact date. It's dependent upon the block. Yes, Hong Kong news today, 19 Imperial. That's one of the main stories. Big news. They're going to be launching, rumor has it, their spot Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs, which would be the very first ever, potentially this Monday. That's what the report says. I'll be breaking down this report a little later. If everyone just smoked a big fat joint, you would not have war. This is true, Joe. That's why we need to smoke more joints or blunts or more bong rips, whatever it takes for no war, for Christ's sake.
Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Get ready.
Satoshi on the beach somewhere, sipping a margarita, laughing and smiling more than ever before, whether on earth or heaven. There you go, C-list. I honestly hope the top of the cycle stays below 300,000. I want a few more years to stack, says Jay. Molly says, sweet. Yeah, man.
We back in the black, we back in the green. Got the team all around me, we rowdy and causing scenes.
What it do, JV? Shout out Tony Zubria, Eastern Oregon in the house. Pump it up. Actually, it was LSD that kept the soldiers from fighting. Well, whatever it takes, DMT, LSD, if it could prevent war, for Christ's sake, take one for the cause. I'm just saying. Mr. Satoshi was from the future. It does seem to be that way. Some would say Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment. That's a quote from Max Kaiser. The combination has still made my funds bleed. You already know, Sammy G. You know how we gets down. Do you own any Ethereum? I do. What about you guys? At one point, I had a little bit of Ethereum in my portfolio years ago, and that little bit of Ethereum turned into a major part of my portfolio because Ethereum skyrocketed from less than $100 when I got in to whatever the top was. I don't even know, 4,500. But JV capitulated the majority of that Ether into Bitcoin a while back. And I'm glad I did, but I still have a little bit of Ether in my bags. However, I don't really trust it. That's why the majority of my portfolio is all in Bitcoin, right? If I woke up tomorrow and my Ethereum went to zero, I'd just be like, ish happens. Ish coining. Just saying. But anyways, it is the second largest crypto in the ecosystem, so for what it's worth. But yeah, some of the red flags, since they changed their protocol from proof of work to proof of stake, I kind of looked at that like, oh boy, now the regulators are going to have a field day because that's a red flag that it's not a commodity and could be an unregistered security. And then the fact that the max supply has the infinity sign, I'm like, what different is Ethereum from the US dollar? There seems to be a central bank that can just print more and more. So can't really compare it to Bitcoin whatsoever, but nonetheless, it is still the second largest crypto by market cap. I own Ethereum just for kicks. Exactly, Don. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin is divine. I would agree with the Sailor. I consider Bitcoin to be God-inspired. Facts. I would agree with that. Molly owns some ETH. Joe owns a little ETH. So yeah, I think a lot of people have some ETH. How much ETH do you have, JV? Would never reveal, right? Never ever reveal your holdings. It may be a quarter of an Ethereum, or it may be 10,000 Ethereum, or somewhere in between. Nobody knows, and we're going to keep it that way. It is what it is. But I must say, I was very happy on my Ethereum gains from converting it to Bitcoin since I got it at less than $100 per ETH. And I think that was in 2020, right after the COVID crash. Everything crashed. Bitcoin went down to 3,500. ETH went down to like $90 or something like that. And I'm just like, sounds like a deal. And I'm glad I backed up the truck. What about you guys? Sold ETH, don't trust it. Completely understand, John. Satoshi and Virgil walk in tandem, just saying. Altcoins are a distraction to Bitcoin. Those were the easy distracted by alts. So yeah, like I think my ETH went up like 40x, and I'm like, I'm happy with that. And I converted it back to Bitcoin. But I must say, I think Ethereum was probably one of my top gainers, but I'm also up like 40 something X on my Bitcoin because I got into Bitcoin in 2017 when it was only $1,500. And I don't know the math right now. You'd have to divide 70,000 by 1,500, but it's probably like a 40 plus X gain as well. So, hey, not too shabby. But hey, it's not 10,000 X gains like some of you guys meme coining. But I'm happy with it, so no complaints. It is going to be fun watching all these people rushing to gold eventually to sell for Bitcoin. What people are we talking about there? Peter Schiff disciples? JV does not want to do the work to combine his ETH on the various exchanges. I sold some of my ETH and have a handful now that I am staking right on Molly. Wow, lucky you, says Julie. Sold all my ETH, says Jay. What are your thoughts on XMR? I used to be a Monero holder because I firmly believe in privacy, but I also realized that it was going to be targeted by government regulators, and I think I was right. Privacy coins haven't been performing well, but I still believe in them. I think privacy is important. And so personally, I think Monero is a cool privacy project. However, I don't own any. I used to own a bit a long time ago, but I was into all the privacy coins. Dash, freaking Monero, and what was the other one? Zcash. But I had a feeling they wouldn't perform well, and I guess I was right. But we'll see how they do this cycle. I wish them success. Bitcoin took liquidations from longs, and now it's aiming to take all shorts. Liquidation finds everyone. Leonardo, welcome to the stream. JV probably has a lot of expired logins. I get emails from like some of the exchanges, and they'll tell me like, you need to claim your, and I was like, yeah, a little bit of, yeah, I definitely can relate. Who is longing huge X? What is a huge X? What are you referring to there? Let me know your thoughts. Bitcoin liquidations from longs. It's aiming to take all the shorts, says Jan Sudor. But anyways, fam, let's dive into our next story of the day. We got a lot to cover yet. Our next story is the latest with BlackRock crushing the game. Headline reads, BlackRock smashes $10.5 trillion record in Q1 managed assets. And as tweeted here, BlackRock now holds 270,000 Bitcoin, worth over $19 billion. We are just getting started. Good Lord, they did that in 90 days, fam. That's right. Major Bitcoin investor BlackRock continues to build momentum, posting another successful quarter of income in managed assets. BlackRock issued its financial results for the first quarter of 2024, April 12th, reporting a record $10.5 trillion in assets under management, up $1.4 trillion from the previous year. The company's diluted earnings per share surged from $7.9 million in Q1 2023 to $9.8 million in Q1 2024. The increase reflects higher non-operating income and a lower effective tax rate in the current quarter. The firm noted net income increased from $1.2 billion in Q1 2023 to roughly $1.5 billion in Q1 2024. The report also mentioned the company issued $3 billion of debt to fund a portion of the cash consideration for a planned acquisition of Global Infrastructure Partners, an infrastructure investment fund focused on equity and selected debt investments. BlackRock previously announced an agreement to acquire GIP as part of its Q4 2023 report, targeting the creation of a new infrastructure investment platform. BlackRock's record-breaking AUM came amid the company handling $76 billion of quarterly long-term net inflows, which already accounts for nearly 40% of the full year 2023 levels. Quoting Larry Fink, their CEO, BlackRock's momentum continues to build with accelerating client activity and line of sight into the funding of significant wealth, institutional, and Aladdin mandates. The CEO mentioned BlackRock sees significant growth potential in infrastructure, technology, retirement, and whole portfolio solutions. Quoting him again, clients are turning to BlackRock to unlock their full potential of their portfolios, reflected in industry-leading total net inflows of $236 billion over the last 12 months. BlackRock, as we know, the major player now, the crypto industry, hodling 270,000 biddies through their IBIT trust. And as of April 10th, IBIT accumulated 266,500 Bitcoin, worth almost 19 billion since it started trading January 11th, 2024. Larry Fink is known in the community as a major Bitcoin bull, an industry advocate, but it's ironic. A few years back, he once called Bitcoin an index for money laundering. I'll never forget it. And in March 2024, Fink reiterated that he was very bullish on the long-term success of Bitcoin in the context of the rapid growth of IBIT. Quoting him again, IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. Nothing has gained assets as fast as IBIT in the history of ETFs. So there you have it, family. Now, what are your thoughts on BlackRock becoming a juggernaut in the Bitcoin space so fast? 90 days, 270,000 Bitcoin. I mean, at this rate, eventually they're going to have millions of Bitcoin if you guys continue to sell your biddies. So hodl be thy name. You know what I mean? JB, what are your top most three embarrassing ish coins? I don't know. You tell me. I think most ish coins are embarrassing, so I wouldn't know where to begin. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Peter Schiff is mad that Michael Saylor is a more handsome and smarter version of him. That's comment of the day, Laura. I would totally agree. Definitely Michael Saylor superior. It's kind of like comparing Bitcoin to gold. That's comparing Michael Saylor to Peter Schiff. Brilliantly put, Laura. 19 billion of 10.5 trillion is just the beginning. Exactly. Root TD to 100%. You know what I mean? Ascending, tightening, wedge, bullish. Harrow, everyone. I forgot JB is on early this week. We watched Imaginary last night. The movie is freaky. Hey, K-Jam. That's right. We're going to be streaming 12 p.m. Eastern all week until... Wait, actually, I take that back. Tomorrow we'll be back at 4 o'clock and probably Sunday, but then as Monday begins the new week, we'll be back at 12 p.m. Eastern all week. So today is 12, tomorrow will be later, Sunday will be later, over the weekend, and then as the school day of next week progresses, we go back to school. Yeah, we're going to be early, 12 p.m. Eastern. So just FYI, that's why it's important to make sure you got notifications all turned on. You know what I mean? Let's get it. We need a hyper candle Bitcoin of 500 G's so BlackRock cannot buy as much. I'm a Bitcoin minnow who identifies as the Bitcoin whale. That's what's up. Shout out Knox Bill. Good to see you guys as well. Let's get it. But yeah, let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? We discussed the latest with the BlackRock. Now let's discuss these Bitcoin options. An expiry worth $1.5 billion sets 69,000 max pain price. That's right, over $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin futures options are set to expire April 12th, which is today, signaling potential downside price volatility, which we're seeing. They can see Bitcoin fall to the 69,000 mark. Over $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin options are due with a put to call ratio of 0.62, suggesting max pain point of 69,000 for Bitcoin. That's right. Despite the maximum pain point, Bitcoin won't necessarily fall back to its all-time high, according to Hao Yang, global head of derivatives trading at Bybit. Quoting him here, the max pain point refers to the price at which most option contracts would expire worthless. It is an indicator of where option market participants are positioned, but it doesn't necessarily influence where the underlying asset will be trading at. Periods close to the expiration of options are often characterized by increased price volatility in the crypto markets. Yet Yang added that he doesn't expect more volatility, pointing out the relatively small size of Friday's option expiries. Quoting him here, I don't expect more volatility given options markets is still the only fraction of the total crypto derivative market. The Bitcoin price action was flat in the 24 hours leading up to 10:25 a.m. when Bitcoin was trading at 70,700. So it definitely did have an impact on the price action. And quoting Andrew Stokev, head of prime brokerage at Nexo, Bitcoin may approach the 69,000 mark, but whether it falls to that level depends on the broader context, including market sentiment and Bitcoin's dance with inflation. The recent US CPI data, which came in higher than expected Wednesday, has raised concerns about inflationary pressures potentially impacting the Bitcoin price. dynamics. Now let's discuss these ETF inflows slowing down ahead of the Bitcoin halving. That's good news. The inflows from the spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US have slowed down ahead of the Bitcoin halving. The ETFs generated a total of 220 million worth of net inflows during the past week, according to Dune Analytics. Now, weekly ETF inflows have been steadily slowing since their best week, March 11th, then generated 2.5 billion worth of net inflows. The ETFs only managed 337 million worth of net inflows last week, down 45% from the 615 million from the previous week. The Bitcoin ETFs have now amassed a whopping 839,000 Bitcoin, worth almost $60 billion in total on-chain holdings, representing over 4.2% of the current Bitcoin supply. So it took the institutions 90 days to conquer over 4% of the Bitcoin supply, 839,000 Bitcoin. Like, whoa. So there you have it. But I guess they say the outflows are slowing down from like GBTC. Which is definitely a good indicator. You know what I mean? Supply shock likely to come sometime this year. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment. Welcome everyone just joining us. Let's get it. W Stream. Appreciate the Palestinian. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate pumping the subs. Thank you. Thank you. Using leverage on Bitcoin turns a sure thing into a gamble. Precisely okay, but some people are pretty greedy and they love trading with leverage. Teach their own. Yes, JV. What are the ish coins that lost you the most money? Otherwise, I'll ask you about your special lady friend again. Oh boy, Silas. This guy. I don't even know. I have no clue, family. Or I would tell you if something came to my mind. I don't think I did good with Solana. I think I bought Solana at the height in like 2021. And then I ended up dumping it at the bottom just because I didn't want to hold it no more after the whole FTX debacle. So I think my biggest loss may have been Solana. If I would have held on to it, I wouldn't have lost anything, but I just wanted to separate myself from the Sam coins. So that's the only coin I can think of that was very bad performance for me. And it's because I bought it at the top and sold it at the bottom. But fortunately, it was a very minuscule amount. I think I took like a sponsorship payment and bought some Solana with it, and didn't work out so well for me. But nonetheless, I don't care. It's like, don't like Solana, so don't care. Pirate Chain says ER Sats mode. Peter Schiff secretly owns Bitcoin. Probably. It's a good suggestion. I mean, it's very possible. Solana was icky with SBF. That's right. Remember when it just started crashing after FTX went down? And then it went down to like, I don't know what it went down to. It was $20, $10. But I'm just like, I honestly thought it may go to zero because it's a Sam coin. And Sam, CEO of the biggest fraud in history. So I'm just like, I don't want to be holding this no more. Just get rid of it. I mean, maybe I lost a few $1,000s, but nothing significant. So it's like, get rid of it. If a crypto coin is a fork from Bitcoin, what does it mean exactly, JV? It means it copied the open source code of Bitcoin as the foundation. Is pretty much what it means. Hey, JV has good instincts. Yeah, I just don't want to be associated with holding anything Sam recommends. We discovered Sam did not recommend Bitcoin. He was an enemy of Bitcoin. He was dumping customers' Bitcoin, right, the entire time. So Bitcoin goes against the grain of the mainstream, Bankman-Fried, and all that. So yeah, I'll stick to Bitcoin. And I learned my lesson, right? I learned my lesson. You ish coin, ish happens. But anyways, family, to each their own. I wish everyone success in the market, regardless of what you're holding. Just note, there's a lot of risk out there. Bitcoin is the least risky, fastest horse in the race. And I'm very happy with the performance of Bitcoin, so I can't complain. Hi from BKK, says Jerry Reynolds. Welcome, Bangkok in the building. I mean, it turned out wrong for him, so maybe those instincts weren't the best. That's why you don't trade with feelings, you use numbers. Yeah, well, first and foremost, I am not a trader. I bought that to hold on to it long term, but once that happened, I was like, I'll get rid of it. You live, you learn, but all good, all good. What about you guys? What's your biggest regret in an altcoin? I'd love to know. Give JV a high five and slap the like. Thank you, Molly. In the stock market, world, as a general rule, accounting in irregular means sell. Barek, I appreciate the super family. A little more dippage so I can buy a few more biddies. Let's go Bitcoin. GT, hopefully you get those dips. We'll see. We do have a halving in 1 week. Do you think it'll be a sell the news event like the ETFs? Let me know your thoughts. If you bought it and then you sold it, that's, yeah, that is trading. So that's an example of JV taking an L, and probably one of the reasons I don't trade and I just hodl Bitcoin. So exactly right. I'm not a trader. I may have experimented with trading a few times, especially when I first got into crypto. I would start buying everything. Buy some Bitcoin, buy some this, buy some that. And I did a little bit of trading early on, maybe 6 years ago. And some trades went very well. Example would be Ethereum. I think, again, Ethereum, I did over 40x. I was very happy with the gains and to move them into Bitcoin. But then again, as I said, Bitcoin gave me 40x gains. So, and a lot of the alts that I did buy didn't get 40x gains. So I feel like I wasted time and money with a lot of the alts, and just stick on my high horse with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin performs well. And I don't got to worry about, everything else you got to worry about. JV, where's your SL at? Stop loss, just for example, the Bitcoin dumps to say 20,000 theoretically, of course. I don't have any long positions. I just hodl Bitcoin. I have acquired Bitcoin and then hodl it. It's really not rocket science. My biggest regret is selling 0.1 Bitcoin to buy Cardano and stake it. Cardano is way down since then. Bitcoin is up with the staking rewards. Lost comparatively. Do you know the coin cult? No, I've never heard of that. Mexi, I think that's an exchange. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trading is like playing roulette, pretty much. Were the taxes troublesome like 6 years ago? No. Well, number one, I just moved it into Bitcoin. So there's no capital gains tax unless you, from my understanding. And number two, I live in Puerto Rico, so I'm exempt from capital gains tax under Act 60. But long story short, I just took my Ether and moved it into Bitcoin. I don't cash into. What would be the purpose of trading anything for dollars? Number one, it's going to be a taxable event. You want to pay capital gains. And number two, treating fiat as a store of value. What do we call them, folks? So, yeah. Same here, JV. This is my third halving, and I learned my lesson. Never sell Bitcoin. Pretty much. Never sell Bitcoin. Hodling does not require stop loss. Exactly. That's a good point. But anyways, fam, next story of the day. U.S. government is a big hodler of Bitcoin. In fact, amongst one of the largest. That's right. The U.S. government, one of the biggest crypto holders alongside other global states like the UK and Germany, according to data from Arkham. The crypto intelligence platform focused on these entities on the blockchain network, having been introduced to a dashboard featuring the governments with the largest crypto holdings. Announcing the news April 12th, Arkham said that the US, the UK, and Germany are some of the largest countries in terms of crypto holdings. With the new Arkham tracking tool, individuals can observe the real-time balance and transaction history for cryptos held by the governments. And according to the data, the U.S. government is the biggest Bitcoin whale. That's right, amongst global states tracked by Arkham, holding as much as 212,000 Bitcoin at this time, worth around 15 billion based on the current prices. But I would reiterate this. I personally feel that BlackRock is one and the same with the U.S. government, and they now have 270,000 Bitcoin. So add 212 to that number, family, if you want to keep it 100. But I digress. In addition to Bitcoin, the U.S. government also holds around 200 million in other cryptos like Ether, as well as major stablecoins like USDC and Tether. Also, some would say the U.S. government owns a piece of all the S&P 500 companies or all the stock companies. And if that's true as well, then obviously they have a much larger share or exposure to Bitcoin more indirectly. The UK government ranked second, holding 61,000 biddies at this time, worth 4.5 billion. According to Arkham's data, the German government owns roughly 50,000 Bitcoin, equivalent to 3.5 billion at this time. And then we have the government of El Salvador, the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender back in September of 2021, holding significantly less Bitcoin than other countries, tracked by Arkham. According to the data, the Salvadoran government holds 5,700 Bitcoin, worth 405 million. Whoa. Now, the release of Arcam's dashboard of the top governments by Bitcoin holdings marks an important milestone in transparency of crypto assets owned by whales, such as country states, and at the same time, it has been a while since the public found out about the massive Bitcoin holdings by the U.S. government. The dashboard also points to the fact that the U.S. continued to accumulate biddies in the past few years. Since early 2023, the U.S. government added at least 5,000 Bitcoin based on Arcam's data and previous reports. A significant part of the U.S. government Bitcoin holdings comes from confiscations related to the dark web market via Silk Road, its hacker Jimmy Zhong, as well as hackers a crypto exchange, Bitfinex. So safe to say, the U.S. government acquired the majority of their biddies by hacking the hackers or stealing it from the hackers who stole it from the exchanges. Ironic, right? What did you do, JV? Trading ETH to Bitcoin taxable event now, no matter what time you got knowing the cash. What? What did you do? I don't know what you mean there, Jester. Correct, no cash. I don't like cash. I don't want cash. I have no use for cash unless it's paying my bills. And that's precisely what I do. I have a podcast, right? I have a business. It pays me, and I use that money to pay my bills. And I don't save in cash. That's for sure. That's correct. We all call those people liable to always be financially depleted, so we call them LAFDs, aka poor. Pretty much, we call them financially illiterate. U.S. government hopes to be the next El Salvador. Yeah, I don't know. Wham, bam, thank you, fam. Welcome, Peter. Appreciate you joined in. Being you guys are all singing this song, I might as well play it for you.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat.
What do we call them, folks, if you're using fiat as a store of value?
Fiat currency as a store of value.
Welcome, Patricia. London in the building. Welcome, everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. Enjoy the jammy jam.
We call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat.
Welcome, welcome. I'm a big proponent of financial education in schools. Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the things they refrain from teaching us. True financial education we don't receive from the schools. And instead, we learn calculus and all the crap you'll probably never use. You already know. Love and light all. Shout out Jay Ford. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Next story of the day. I think we broke down the U.S. government. So now let's discuss big news from Hong Kong family. Pump the likes, pump the stream. This is a pretty big deal. Headline reads, Hong Kong set to Greenlight spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs by this Monday, according to the latest report. That's right, family. Hong Kong is on the cusp of approving its first spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs, with potential final approval set for as early as Monday, 3 days out, according to Bloomberg. Citing two people familiar with the matter, this move positions Hong Kong as a pivotal player in the Asian crypto market and underscores its ambition to become a leading digital asset hub. That's right. The Securities and Futures Commission, known as the SFC of Hong Kong, is reportedly finalizing the approval process with Harvest Global Investments and a partnership between Bossera Asset Management and Hashkey Capital, poised to receive the first set of approvals. These approvals are contingent upon completing the necessary listing arrangements with the Hong Kong exchanges and clearing, aiming for a product launch by the end of April. Okay, so they're looking to get the approval Monday, but the launch, according to them, wouldn't be until April. Now, what's interesting is I remember in the States, we got the approval and within a few days later, we had the official launch. But anyways, unlike the futures-based crypto ETFs currently available in Hong Kong, these spot crypto ETFs will allow for direct investment in the actual cryptos, Bitcoin and Ether. This method could offer a more tangible asset base for the investors, contrasting the derivatives-based investments. The introduction of similar ETFs in the US on January 11th this year has been linked to increased market activity and significant capital inflows into the sector. That's right, we discussed over 800,000 Bitcoins have flown flew through the ETFs. And notably, the upcoming Hong Kong ETFs will utilize the in-kind creation model, as reported earlier. This model facilitates the actual exchange of cryptos and the creation and redemption processes. Meaning, from my understanding, that means you could actually invest your Bitcoin into the ETF, whereas in the States, you got to put in the cash equivalent, and you're not actually giving them Bitcoin, and you're never receiving any Bitcoin. When you cash out, you're getting the cash equivalent as well. So this could reduce the cost and improve the liquidity, a notable advancement over traditional ETF structures and their US peers. Moreover, the rollout of these ETFs is strategically timed as the global community anticipates the upcoming Bitcoin halving, which could occur in 8 days, which historically influences the market dynamics. This strategic launch could attract substantial new investors or investments, not only by Hong Kongers, but also from the wider Chinese and Asian markets. Now, Asia is a massive market, and they have a massive population, and you have a lot of money. A lot of these countries in Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, etc. This development follows a series of regulatory advancements in Hong Kong, including the implementation of a regulatory regime for virtual asset service providers and the approval of virtual asset management funds. The introduction of these spot ETFs is seen as a continuation of these efforts to foster a regulated and stable environment for digital assets, enhancing investor protection and integrating digital assets more closely with traditional financial sectors. And according to a Singapore-based Matrix Port, the investment vehicle could unlock $25 billion in demand from Chinese investors through the Southbound Stock Connect program. $25 billion, baby! Send it. How do you feel this will likely impact the greater crypto market? Please do, fam. Let me know. I think that's pretty lit. Personally, I am very bullish on the money flowing into the ETFs from Asia. So I think this is a pretty big deal, and I think the game theory is playing out in full effect. Shout out to Nipsey looking all cute in the background. Shout out to the Nippinator, just saying. But anyways, fam, let me know your thoughts. I'm going to read some more comments out loud, and then we'll dive into our featured story of the day. So here we go. What is that? 0.1, 6,800 is my buy trigger, says GT Lions. ETH is not going to get the ETF approved because proof of stake is a security. That's a good argument. I used to live in Macau. Oh, wow. Macau, right near Hong Kong and Bangkok. Now, Macau is where like gambling and prostitution, everything's legal. So I know all the degens love Macau from China. At least that's what I'm told. Trump, what does that say? Trump says China. Oh, does he? I'm going to say that too. Oh, this Saturday, we got two Chinese champions fighting each other. Wei Li is defending her title against the number one prospect, another Chinese. So I'll actually be watching this weekend. UFC 300 should be pretty lit. Yeah, man. Hong Kong ETF much more attractive than the US ETF. This is huge. Agree there, John. Question is, what species of whale is Jennifer? I mean, it's up to you guys to speculate on that one. Why is Janet yelling at me and China? You got jokes there, Peter. But yeah, yo, very interesting. I think this is obviously very bullish. Hopefully we get the ETF launched soon out of El Salvador, which will be the in-kind as well, where you can put the Bitcoin in and actually receive the Bitcoin when you sell your shares in the ETF. Huge hugs and kisses for Nipsey. Thank you, Molly. Nipsey appreciates it. Looking all cute back there. So yeah, interesting. Anyone here been to China or any of the Asian countries or from Asia? Let me know. I know Asia got the big bucks. That's for sure. And typically when we pump after hours here is due to the Asian markets, which are roughly 12 hours ahead of us from Eastern time, right? 12 hours in the future, meaning right now it's probably around midnight in a lot of these Asian countries. But anyways, fam, pump the likes, pump the stream. I'll give you a little bonus headline here because I don't have the time to do this all because I got to head out here in a bit. But this headline is 100,000 Bitcoin price incoming if correlation between crypto and stocks weakens, according to Sentiment Analytics. Shout out to Sentiment. They always have good insights. So I'm just going to read you a quote here. It doesn't have to be the opposite like this, but if they kind of are moving in their own ways, good sign. We can continue forward, hit those 80, 90, 100,000 levels that many of the bulls out there here are often mentioning often, I should say. But yeah, there you go. I just wanted to throw that little bonus quote from you from Santiment. If Bitcoin reaches 71.5, a lot of short liquidations happen, I read. We'll pump big time. We'll send it. 1 a.m. here in Oceania. Well, there you go. Thank you for sharing. I've worked in Jakarta. Where is Jakarta? I forget where that is on the map. What about XRP greatness? Tell me something about XRP. I've been to Beijing, Xi'an, and Shanghai. You just see the Pearl Tower. Just to see the Pearl Tower. Oh, word up, Moses. You enjoy your stay there? Let me know. That's what's up. I flew over there 10 years in general, and the Asia culture likes to gamble. Oh, they love to gamble. 1 a.m. here. Good to note. What country are you in? Unholy almond. Unholy almond. I've been to Hong Kong. You know what's special about Hong Kong girls? Tell me. Dirty. What's so special about these Hong Kong girls? I've been to Hong Kong as well. Spent a few days there. Definitely a beautiful place to visit. Shenzhen, my favorite cities in China, Shenzhen and Hong Kong. Shenzhen being mainland near Hong Kong. You typically will visit Shenzhen before going to Hong Kong. But nonetheless, Hong Kong is not really mainland China. It's just more of like a territory, I would imagine. Kind of like how Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, but it's not a part of the mainland. In fact, in Hong Kong, they even speak a different language than mainland China. Mainland China, they speak Mandarin. In Hong Kong, they speak Cantonese. Now, I love Cantonese a little bit because in Kung Fu, I studied traditional Chinese martial arts, Kung Fu, and we learned a little bit of Cantonese. Like we had to count and do everything in Cantonese in the class, so it was kind of cool. But anyways, they have great dumplings in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong, if I were to describe it, it reminds me of like New York City on steroids, just next level-ish. Shout out Silas. Wow, he just became a Huddle Gang member for 4 months. JV having fun with your special lady friend. I've been to Chinatown for some chow fun. That's what's up. Chinatown, are you referring to there in New York? Why did you name your dog Nipsey? He was named after the late, great Nipsey Hussle, because at the time I adopted Nipsey. Nipsey Hussle recently died, and I was a big fan of his music. And yeah, every day I'd work out, I'd always listen to Nipsey Hussle at the time. I was a big fan of his music. And the fact he was, pro crypto, he understood Bitcoin, and he was putting out a documentary with Dr. Sebi, you know what I mean? How to cure the big C through natural remedies. And I think he was targeted. But nonetheless, he was murdered. He was shot in front of his clothing store, unfortunately, in LA. And he was murdered. And so Nipsey was named after him. And I always looked at the artist Nipsey as very calm, cool, collective. And Nipsey was very shy and calm and cool. So he kind of reminded me of Nipsey. So that's why. Netherlands here, brother. We have some good weed, my man. Hope you are here. Have a nice juicy blunt while we see Bitcoin rising to the moon. Shout out to the Netherlands. That's what's up. I have visited Amsterdam and had a great experience in the Netherlands. So, you know what I mean? If Bitcoin reaches below 68.2, can we expect a short run before the bull breakout? Expect a short run before the bull breakout. If so, what levels are key to you? I mean, these are good questions. Great questions. Salute, says D. I am back, says Greatness. Welcome back. Let's discuss some more of these questions during the Q&A session because I want to get into our feature story of the day. So without further ado, now let's dive into our featured story of the day. This particular indicator I'm going to share with you predicts when Bitcoin will likely reach the $5 million milestone. So I want to start actually with this tweet from PlanB. He put it out a little bit ago. This was back on March 18th. It got over 500,000 views. He shared the stock to flow model and wrote, stock to flow 2020-2024 halving cycle predicts 50,000. Stock to flow 2024-2028 halving cycle, which is this cycle we're about to enter, post halving, 500,000. Then stock to flow 2028-2032 halving cycle, $5 million. Yes, stock to flow equals exponential growth, and it will continue, in my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what PlanB just shared right there. Now, personally, I think 500,000 for this halving cycle is in the money. My personal prediction, the bearish scenario, 222,000, which is virtually half his projection of the stock to flow. And my bull scenario is 750,000. So this is right in the middle. Dead in the middle of little did we know that we riddle some middlemen who didn't do diddly. Shout out to Big Pun, repping Puerto Rico. Bronx, where you at? But anyways, PlanB's bold forecast sparked a mix of reactions. While some are thrilled at the prospect of Bitcoin's meteoric rise, others are skeptical. They point out the model's reliance on limited data and the unpredictability nature in these crypto markets. In fact, here's what PaxB wrote in response to PlanB. I'd be happy if this happens, but 3 to 4 data points can only predict the general direction, not the price. Like 500,000 average, 2024-2028, caution is advised to all. And PlanB actually responded, yeah, very true. Only 3 halvings. We had 2012, 2016, and 2020, plus the crucial pre-halving period, and stock to flow is only for general direction, of course, and with a wide error margin. For example, the prediction of 2024 or 2020 to 2024 was 55 Gs, but the reality was 33,000. Now, I actually want to chime in here and share some of my personal thoughts. Stock to flow, it actually printed the first bull cycle dot on the official chart. That was on March 1st, so roughly a month ago, a month and a week. So according to the stock to flow model, we are officially in the bull territory. Now, typically each cycle on the stock to flow, it'll print maybe a dozen red dots, right? Anywhere from maybe 8 to 15, depending upon the cycle and many other factors. But nonetheless, we just printed the very first one. So according to the stock to flow, the bull market is just getting started, meaning it's like the bottom of the first inning if you're a baseball fan. You know what I mean? We're just getting started. So where do you feel we're likely to go if the stock to flow remains intact and we get another, hypothetically speaking, 11 red bull market dots on the stock to flow over the course of the next, say, 18 months? Let me know your thoughts. I personally feel 500,000 is a solid target. It's very realistic when you start to understand the current state of the U.S. deficit, which they say is roughly $35 trillion. The fact they're going to have to continue to print money to pay some of this debt. In fact, there's no other choice at this point. And we all know, as that money printer continues to turn on and go, that the U.S. economy is doomed. And we're about to witness hyperinflation, if you don't call what we're already witnessing hyperinflation. Some things they like to tell us, they like to pretend in the US that inflation is under control. Don't worry, folks. We got it under control at 2.5%. It's not going anywhere. We're just going to continue to print. But the reality is, and I was actually watching a viral video of a guy shopping at Costco from 1 year ago and today. Many of the things were up 75%. So true inflation, as far as food is concerned, and a lot of these items at the grocery store, in Costco, for this example, 75%. So when they say, yeah, we got it under control, the dollar couldn't be stronger, the banks are doing great, and Janet, Miss Binance, yeah, the banks are strong, don't worry, your money is safe. You can't believe anything these crooks tell you, right? You can't listen to what they say. You got to watch what they do and take heed by their freaking actions. One thing is for sure, the dollar is going to continue to get devalued by massive money printing. They have no other option. So the purchasing power of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed. It's a mathematical certainty to continue to decrease its purchasing power, right? And if you want to see a chart of that, all you got to do is pull something up where it showed you real estate, the average house 10 years ago, how much it costs in USD and how much it costs in Bitcoin. And then you'll start to notice a pattern, right? That US dollar amount, it gets more and more expensive to buy a house every year. Why? inflation, right? Devaluing of our currency, the US dollar, the fiat monopoly tulip bowl money I'm talking about. And then vice versa with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power. It's a mathematical certainty, right? And you can look at, I was looking at a chart the other day and it showed you like, I'm actually going to pull it up. I think I sent it to like my uncle or my brother or something. And I just wanted to like clearly show, here's some great examples. This is example number 1. So check this out. And what you're looking at, I know it's on my phone, so bear with me, but it showed you in 2016, the average house was $288,000. It cost at that time 664 Bitcoin. Someone run the math. What's 664 Bitcoin at today's value? Let me know. And then in 2020, it cost $328,000 to buy an average house and only 45 Bitcoin because, again, Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to increase its purchasing power and the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to decrease the purchasing power. Then look at 2024. Now, 434,000. That means houses have doubled in the past 8 years. The housing market has literally virtually doubled in 8 years. Meanwhile, for my power dying. For 6 Bitcoins, you can buy the average house in America. If that's not the tail of the tape, what is? One more example. The iPhone, the iPhone 4, when it came out, cost 2,857 Bitcoin, right? The iPhone 13 cost 0.02 Bitcoin. Mic drop. I don't know what else to share with you guys. Are you starting to understand? The dollar is doomed. Saving in fiat equals poor. Saving in Bitcoin equals rich, wealthy, abundant, prosperity, opulence, all the good-ish. You know what I mean? So choose accordingly. One day, you'll be able to buy your dream house for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a Bitcoin. And at that same time, it may be 20 million US fiat tulip bowl monopoly dollars because that's the world we live in. So choose wisely. Stock to flow shows Bitcoin hovering between $100,000 and $1 million post 2024 halving. So you already know. And look at Bitcoin. I mean, I'm now referring to Nipsey as Bitcoin. Nipsey's given us the ultimate signal. You see that stretch? The 2 paws in the air, the cute little face, kind of looked at the camera. That might be the buy signal we've been waiting on, folks. So take action accordingly. Not investment advice, but I'm going to reiterate the one thing I know for certain. Bitcoin will continue to increase its purchasing power against the dollar, and the dollar is doomed. You know what I mean? So move accordingly. And with that being shared, fam, where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to take us leading into this halving? And what are your thoughts of Bitcoin reaching that $5 million mark by the 2028 to 2032 cycle? Holla at your boy. There we go. John says, amazing graphic on your phone simplifies things for the noobs. Precisely, because I wanted to explain to my brother was at my uncle's, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? I can't give you the personal info, but I'm just like, do you not understand you need to save in Bitcoin? Anyone saving in dollars makes no sense, right? But then he's like, but my bank is giving me, I got a special bank giving me a 4% interest on my savings in my bank. And I'm like, but don't you understand the true inflation is not 2%? Do you get that? The true inflation is like 20 to 30%. So you're actually losing 20% by getting your 4% yield by saving in fiat? Do you not understand that? So the graphic depicts it perfectly. So treat Bitcoin as a savings, right? Because it's the greatest savings to ever exist. What did we point out earlier? 14 and a half years ago, if you put $1 into Bitcoin, what would it be worth today, right? $1 in Bitcoin 14 and a half years ago is worth $91 million. Oh, Nipsey's putting on his cute card now. Look at that. Look at me. I'm cute. You feel me? Do I got to show you again? Are you not entertained? $1 invested into Bitcoin back 14 and a half years ago is now worth $91 million. Now you may say gold is a fantastic store value. It's the highest it's ever been, says Peter Schiff. Well, 14 and a half years ago, you put $100 into gold. Wow, fantastic. You got a 2x gain. You're now worth $200. Whoopee. You know what I mean? Big deal. You really lost to inflation, for Christ's sake. So let's not forget about inflation. Don't underestimate inflation. With that being shared, let's get into some Q&A, shall we? Here we go. Nip is getting excited. Look at that cuteness. He's just like 1 million Bitcoin by 2025, 100 million by 2027. Take that to your Bitcoin bank wallet. Huh? Yeah. Bitcoin only goes up forever, Laura. Precisely. 500,000 by the end of the year. Send it. Spot on, JV brother. The very reasons I moved to Russia. Debt and GDP in the US, 130%. Russia debt to GDP, 23%. Take away. Move to Russia, fam. Well, I will say I trust the Russia government and Russian politics more than I do here in the States. I don't think anyone's... All right, actually, I'm on the tube. I'll shut up. So I got to be careful what I say. But respect. Shut out Russia. Shut out Putin. And by the way, FJB. Hashtag FJB. 85,000 Bitcoin next week. Send it. Nipsey Man has given us a buy signal, or maybe it's just fleas making him squirm. No fleas. No fleas. No one was buying in 2009, though, to be fair. Well, of course they weren't. You couldn't give away Bitcoin back then. I want to share with my son. What do you want to share there, Silver? Share the pod, share the stream. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Smash buying now. That's what's up, Neri. Just don't run against Uncle Vlad. Exactly. Soon we'll be talking sats, kilo sats, mega sats. The term Bitcoin will fall by the wayside. You can make a good point there, Mark. Maybe you're a prophet. There you go. Nipsey's licking the sack. You see that? That was another signal for you for the ages. Bitcoin next move, please. Wow, we broke below 69. So there you go. Great buying opportunity. BTFD opportunity before the halving. This is it. Seize the moment. Take advantage of it. Or forever hold your peace. Shout out Neri. Shout out Greg. AI Apocalypse. What it do? The dip I've been waiting for. Bitcoin next. Moved, please. 2.5% is not tanking. Exactly. JV in full form today. Love it. Lucky to be live in the early days of the biddies. Shout out Jay. Respect. No fleas. Yeah, no fleas on the Nipster. What you told your relatives. What about it? 69,000 giggity. Yeah, because when someone tells me they own no Bitcoin, but they're saving in the bank, my mind goes, what the f- are you doing? Especially if it's a substantial amount of fiat. I just don't get it. But they were just so convinced, no, I'm getting 4% at the bank. It's like scratching my head. And then I said, do you believe the inflation numbers the government tells you? No, we know they're lying. Okay, then why are you saving in fiat again? Scratching my head. Good day, JV. Team ET all. Goodbye. We'll never be in the 50s again. I agree with you, Don. I don't see that happening. I don't see us going sub 60 again. JVD hold altcoin, AI coin. I don't know what you mean by that. Do I have some alts? I may. Some alts I may have bought back in 2017 and just never traded or sold. Nothing significant. If I was to guess, I'd say I'm 99 point something percent Bitcoin. And the biggest other percentage would be Ether. So I am virtually all Bitcoin. But who knows? I don't even check some of the early coins I bought. Don't really care. Insignificant. And some of them you can't even trade on the main exchanges. So I'm just like, who cares? Let people do what they want. Not everyone believes or cares for crypto. This is true. I mean, I'll be honest. Gold is a great alternative if crypto didn't exist. If Bitcoin was non-existent, I'd probably own some gold. besides my chains. You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. I still feel gold is better than fiat. I still believe that a lot of the ish coins are better than gold. I think gold is too confiscatable. Just for that fact alone, I would never hold gold. The fact someone can take it from you, such as a government that threw us overboard a very long time ago, the fact they can just confiscate it, make it illegal, that's all I need to know not to hold it. I'd rather hold an ish coin like Doge than gold. That may sound crazy. In fact, I don't own any Dogecoin, so I don't believe in it. But it just goes to show you how much I actually believe in gold. But for each to each their own. Some people like physical things. So if I was addicted to physical things on this realm and didn't recognize myself as a infinite spiritual being having a human experience, I'd be like, wow, gold is so important. I can hold it. Oh my God, this is so real and tangible. The intrinsic value here is amazing. But I come from the future, like Satoshi, and I don't see any value in these physical things that can be confiscated from you. I don't see any value in it at all. I know digital is superior. Ask any 10-year-old child, would you rather have $100 in USD or $100 in Robux? Every child is going to say Robux. Why? Because they don't see the value in the dollar. The digital money is more important to them. In fact, digital money they can only spend in one ecosystem is more important than the dollar. I know. I have a 10-year-old, right? To them, digital, in their digital Roblox world, the digital world is more important to most kids than the physical world. Let that one sink in. So for someone to say that Bitcoin is not the future of currency and that it has to be a physical fiat or a physical gold bar, they just don't understand the future, right? Don't you ever use DEX? I don't use DEXs. Coinbase was my go-to when I would buy, especially early on. I would always use Coinbase just because convenience and trust, being they're the largest, Anyways, you love your calamari. Nice. That's good, Dankness. That's good. How long does cold storage wallet data last? Forever. Precisely, says HMAR. JB, your daughter may be playing with you. Well, we play video games all the time. But no, every time I see her, her allowance goes into Robux. We go to the grocery. I'll pick her up today. We'll go to the grocery store and she'll be like, give me my allowance. I want to buy Robux. And 100% of her allowance will go to the Robux because there's nothing more important than digital currency to kids. Let that sink in. You should use some DEXs. I'll send you some, or better. Oh, you're referring to sailing out there in South Africa, catching some fish. Nice. Bitcoin is not just the future. Bitcoin is here now. That's right. The future is here. We're transitioning into that future. You just really spelled out how crypto will be so important to the next generation. Thank you, Philly Brian. I even asked, I just asked random things just to see. I asked something like, would you rather have, let's say, a $5 million mega mansion, or I think as she refers to it, a celebrity mansion worth $5 million to live in? Or would you rather have a celebrity mansion in Robux that all your friends can visit? And she didn't even hesitate. She said Robux. So she doesn't see any intrinsic value in physical things. To her, her digital world is more important. Let that sink in. She'd rather have like a $5 million house in the video game that her friends could all interact with her digitally than have a physical house worth $5 million. And I was just like, that's why don't leave Bitcoin to your children until they're adults. You know what I mean? Because I can see, right, like at this age, hypothetically speaking, you leave all your Bitcoin to your little one and then they just spend it all on Robux and then they're balling in the digital metaverse. I don't know what else to say. Anyways, family, why did Bitcoin dump today? Well, hopefully you tuned into the show. We discussed that. I'd rather own Bitcoin than a mansion. I mean, all of us would, right? Because Bitcoin's going to continue to increase. The mansion probably will increase over time as well, but the government can take it from you. Ask Tate, can the government take anything from you? And they'll be like, yeah. Oh, yeah. So recent tweet from Andrew Tate. He bought a house in Dubai for like 18 or 19 million, and he was flexing, being like, now it's worth 24 million. However, I'm just going to take it all, sell it, and put it into Bitcoin. Why do you think he's doing that? It's the only asset they can't take from him. And he understands how corrupt and dirty these government entities truly are. You know what I mean? Wait until you could buy 20 mansions, right? Anyways, fam, we're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod. See, that's exactly. I appreciate you guys and gals. Thanks for all the support. We're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod for a little bit. Exclusive on Rumble. So important, head on over to Rumble right now. It's rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. Head on over there, and we're going to have an uncensored version of the pod. Let's make it happen. Again, rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. Head on over there right now, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.